Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday. It is July the 1st already, and we're ready to commence our Friday 1 hour class. We have only one student connected right now, so we're going to be recording the class. Hopefully the others will join us in a moment. But if they don't, we're going to go ahead and record it so that it'll be available for them to view online at a later time, or for anyone to review today's topic. Today's topic, if you recall, was using the present perfect with already, yet, and still. We have already covered how to identify the use of the present perfect, and now we're adding to the current topic by including the expressions already, yet, and still. So we've already identified how in the present perfect tense, you have a subject, an auxiliary, have or has, then you have the past participle, right? We're using past participles for all present perfect tense in English, but now we're using already in the middle or at the end of a sentence when it is affirmative. We're using yet at the end of the sentence when it's negative. We're using still before the auxiliary. We're using yet at the end of a question, or when we reply negatively, no, not yet, or yes, they have, yes, she has, no, not yet. Now, the main thing to remember is that we use already in affirmative statements only. We use negative statements with yet and negative only, or you can use still if you're unhappy or surprised with the situation. So you can use yet or still, but yet is normal. That means you expect someone to finish something in the future. And still, you're showing disappointment or surprise or unhappy. And that's when we use still. Okay. So we're going to continue with the practice. We did a couple of exercises here, and we're going to continue with exercise 3. But before we continue with exercise 3, at the end of Wednesday's class, I assigned some conversational homework practice. I gave you a drawing or an image, right? And it shows a picture of an event, something that is probably planned, and we're talking about the things that needed to be done. Okay, so to-do list for Helmut and the to-do list for Gisela, you know, she needed to vacuum the carpet, buy flowers, wash the windows, set the table, hang the balloons, wrap the gifts. And some of these things have already been done. Others have not been done yet. So we're using the expressions that we're learning to use to describe images. And that is what the homework was. I wanted everybody to send a picture of any part or special of any party or special dinner or event. Explain what has already happened, what hasn't occurred yet, or what you still have to do in the event. Also, you can describe other activities like goals, what you haven't done, what you have already completed. For example, finding a job or finding an apartment or finding a college or a university, getting a driver's license, etc. I wanted you to practice the present perfect with already, practice the present perfect with still, practice the present perfect with yet, and use the correct work order. That was the idea for the homework. Now, I'd let you know that we're going to proceed with additional focus practice from page 125, exercise 3 forward. And that's this page right here, page 126, exercise 3 forward. We're going to be working on some examples as a group in the class today. But before that, let's look at the homework. Ms. Angeline sent us a sink, like maybe the bathroom sink in her house. And she said, I've already finished brushing my teeth. So early, she had already finished brushing her teeth as one. And then she said, my brother hasn't finished brushing his teeth yet. Excellent. And that's a negative. She used yet. And on this one says, my grandpa still hasn't finished brushing, still hasn't, I think she meant to put still hasn't finished brushing his teeth. So that is very good. Excellent. She used already, yet, and still in her example. Good job, Angeline. That was the idea. Vanessa put on here, the professional stylist hasn't yet finished the treatment. Technically, we cannot use yet before the participle. Yet is at the end of the sentence. So the professional stylist hasn't finished the treatment yet. Okay, so we're going to correct that one. And then, oh, here, well, let's see, she corrected it. She put, my professional stylist has already finished putting peroxide on my hair. Okay, excellent. That's pretty good. So then she put, my mom hasn't yet worked on the job. Okay, there's the same thing. You want to move yet to the end of the sentence. My mom hasn't worked on your job yet. Yet is at the end of the sentence, not in the middle of the sentence. You can use already in the middle of the sentence, but yet has to go at the end of the sentence, okay? So good effort, good job, Miss Vanessa, but we're going to be working on an additional practice today, no problem. Let's see, we have a photo here of Mr. Kael working on some type of a project. Okay, very good. And he said, I don't finish my project yet. Well, that's fine, but you need to use, the yet is okay at the end, but you need to use I haven't finished in the present perfect. Haven't is the auxiliary. Finished is the participle. So we need to use that. We're going to correct that section. Then I'm still talking with some friends. Let's see. Here, still is good. And this can be used in the present progressive. I am talking, or I am still talking. That's present progressive. In the present perfect, you would say, let's see, I've been talking. That's the present perfect progressive. Or you can say, I've talked. If you want to say still, you would have to make it something that sounds out of the ordinary, something that is a surprise. You could say, I still have talked with the same friends. You could use that. That'll work. And then the man is already here to take some items. Again, all of this is fine. You can use already there. That's fine. However, this is the present. This is the simple present. So the man has already taken some items. If you're going to put it in the present perfect, has already. Has is the auxiliary, and taken some items in the present in the verb participle to put it in the present perfect. And you can use already before the verb participle as well. Okay, good effort, Mr. Gael. Good practice. And that is exactly what I want all of you to do, to practice. And sometimes you're going to get it right. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong. But that's okay, because then I know that we need to identify certain areas, and we're going to do that today. Okay, so good job, everybody. Now, let's make sure that we identify certain areas that are important and that we get a little bit of practice, because we need a little bit of practice. No problem. We're going to do that today. Okay. We're going to read Fabrizio's. We have a person by the name of Fabrizio. Okay. And apparently Fabrizio is planning a party. Okay, so Fabrizio has a party planning checklist. Okay, that's what this is. This is a party planning checklist. Okay, and we're going to write some statements about the things that he has already done, okay, things that are finished, and things that he hasn't done yet, okay, or if it's urgent, things that he still hasn't done and he probably should have done, okay, so still hasn't done, that's more of a disappointment, surprise, more urgent, okay. And again, use the list that I gave you with participles so that you know which are the participles, okay? For example, we're going to be looking at the things on the list, okay? So I'm going to make a copy of the list first. So we have the list available, okay? I'm gonna move it up a little bit, and then we're just kind of start from here. That way I can move to this section and maybe make it a little bit bigger so you can read it better. And for example, here, okay, if you look at the list, all right, Fabrizio has already picked the date. It says right here, Fabrizio, he has already picked a date. So we got a check mark on the date. Okay. Now there is no check mark. Okay, this is not done. Okay, not done. So it says he hasn't, negative, he hasn't chosen a time yet, or you could say he still hasn't chosen a time. If it's affirmative, okay, you're going to say he's already picked a date. If it's negative, you're going to say he has not chosen a time yet, or he still hasn't chosen a time. Both of these are negative. Okay. That's exactly what's been happening according to the list. All right, so let's continue using the same list. Okay. Mr. Albert, what can you tell me about finding a location? Number 3.
He's already found a location.
Correct. Excellent, excellent. So here we're going to go in and we're going to say, similar to number 1, he's already found the location. That is correct. He has already found the location. We have a, right here, we have a check mark for location, right? What about Guest list, Mr. Gael.
He's already wrote the guest list.
Okay, wrote is in the past. What is the past? What is the past participle for the perfect? He's already what? You remember?
Writing.
Written. Correct. Correct. Excellent. He has already written. He has already written a guest list. I think that's what it said. Let me see. Yeah, he's already written a guest list. Okay, very good. That's what he has written. Okay. What about the invitations? Buying the invitations, Mr. Albert?
He's already bought invitation.
Bought. Very good. You use affirmative. He has already, or you can put it at the end. He has bought invitations already. Okay. Look. Notice this section. So he's already. Well, first you got to say has, right? And then you can use already because it's completed, and then found, that's the past participle. Here you have the same thing, has, and then you have already, and then you use the past participle, written. Well, here the same thing, has. You can say he has already bought, or you can say he has bought invitations already. Already can come in the middle or at the end. Okay, any questions, anybody? Okay. So, Mr. Gael, what about sending invitations?
He hasn't sent the invitations.
Yet. Correct. He hasn't sent the invitations yet, because he plans to do it. He bought the invitation. So if he bought them, I'm sure he's going to use them. So you can put yes, yet at the end. Okay, and in this case, hasn't. Okay, that's the auxiliary in the negative. Sent, that's the verb participle. And then yet. Hasn't sent the invitations yet. Excellent, excellent. How about ask friends to help Mr. Albert?
He hasn't asked his friends to help
To help
yet.
yet. Excellent, excellent, yet. So he hasn't, as the verb participle, his friends to help yet. Okay, and again, it's important that we identify the auxiliary. In this case, he hasn't. That's the auxiliary. What he hasn't asked. That's the verb participle. And then yet at the very end of the sentence, because it's negative. He hasn't asked his friends to help yet. Excellent, excellent. So now we are at plan the menu. Plan the menu, Mr. Albert.
Okay. He hasn't planned the menu. Yet.
He hasn't planned the menu yet. Exactly. Excellent, excellent. He hasn't planned. He hasn't planned the menu yet. Okay, that is correct. So again, you put the auxiliary in the negative, the verb participle, okay, and then yet because it's negative at the end. Excellent, excellent. Mr. Gael, pick out music.
He has picked out music already.
Okay. Already, excellent. You can use already in the middle or at the end. He has picked up music already, or he has already picked out music. He has, you said picked out music already. We're going to put it at the end. You can put it at the end or in the middle. Okay, but you got to have an auxiliary. You got to have a verb participle. And in this case, you can put the already at the end. Again, you can also put it in the middle. You'll have the option at the end or the middle. All right. Shop for food, Mr. Albert Flores.
He hasn't chopped for food yet.
Hasn't. Excellent, excellent. He hasn't shopped for food yet. He hasn't shopped for food yet. Okay. Now, remember that you can use still also. Okay. And if the party is going to happen tomorrow or sometime soon, you can also change it. You can also put, this is correct, right? He hasn't shopped for food yet. Or, okay, you can say he still hasn't shopped, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He still, you can use, technically, depending on the urgency. If there's no urgency, if he has time, you can say, oh, he hasn't shopped for food yet. But if he has time, if there's no problem. Now, if the party is going to happen soon and you don't have too much time, then that is a problem. It is a surprise. It is negative. So he still hasn't shopped is what you would put if it is a problem. So, you know, maybe you have a test tomorrow and you still haven't studied. That's a problem because the test is tomorrow. So you use still when it is a problem, when it's a surprise, when it's a disappointment. Okay. Any questions, anybody? No questions. All right. So, shop for food. What about clean the house? I forgot. Is it Gael? Can you clean the house?
Okay. He hasn't cleaned the house yet.
Correct. Hasn't. This is regular. Now, if the party's close, you can also do the same thing. He hasn't cleaned a house yet. Or you could probably do the same thing. He still hasn't cleaned blah, blah, blah. Okay, basically you can do the same thing. If it's normal and if you have time, you know, maybe the party's in 1 month, maybe the party's in 2 weeks, no problem. You have time to clean the house. But if the party is tomorrow, you know, he needs to clean the house. So then you're going to say, what? He still hasn't cleaned the house? That's negative, because you're running out of time. The party is going to be soon. So then you put still. Okay? All right. Mr. Albert Flores, the last one, borrow some chair.
He's already borrowed some chairs.
Correct. You could say he's already borrowed some chairs. Now, in this case, you used a contraction. Okay, he has in the form of a contraction. Okay, then you use the already, and then you use the past participle. All of this is correct. Excellent job, everybody. I think you're getting better now. I think practice is good. With a little bit of practice, you did a lot better in these examples. You did very, very good. Okay, excellent job. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of these and include it in your notes. So in case the other students that were not present need to look at the notes. I'm gonna include it for them over here, and I'm gonna include this section also, so that they can have some practice. All right. Now let's continue. We're going to go to this section over here, because I don't want to run out of time. This is similar, okay? You have friends that are planning a party also, and we're going to look at their to-do list. And then we're going to listen to their conversation. Listen again, and then we're going to check the things that they've already done. Okay, so it's the same thing, but well, it's the opposite. Here you saw the list, and then you described the list. Okay, so you saw the list, and you described the list in this example. Now, in this example, you're going to have the list, but the list is incomplete. So you're going to listen to the audio, and the audio is going to be with these comments, okay? And based on these comments, you're going to put the check mark on the list, okay? So you're going to make the list based on the conversation, okay? So it's a little bit different. Plus, you have audio listening practice. No reading, no reading. You have to listen, and you have to try to understand what has already been done. So actually, we're going to go one step. We're going to put a check mark on the things that have already been done, and we're going to put an X on the things that are still not done or haven't been done yet. Okay? So if it's negative, we put an X. If yes, we put a check mark based on the conversation. Okay, okay. So let's listen to the audio. This is very good practice. And tell me I'm going to put the audio 2 times.
Unit 9, page 127, exercise 5, listening.
Can you hear the audio okay, Mr. Albert and Guy?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. Let's listen to it 2 times, okay?
I'm getting nervous. The party's next week, and we still haven't found a place for it.
Yes, we have. Don't worry. Jason said we can have it at his place.
But is Jason's place big enough? There are going to be more than 20 people. And we've already invited everyone.
He says it's no problem, and he's already borrowed extra chairs from his parents.
That's great. Now, what are we going to do about food?
Well, I haven't figured that one out yet. I might just have things like chips and salsa. I'm not sure.
What about drinks? Has anyone bought the soda yet?
Not yet, but we've got time for that.
Okay. I can do that on Friday. Have we found someone to help us set up?
Yes, Ella's available. She's coming to Jason's Friday night to help us set up.
Great. You sound pretty organized.
Yeah, I think things are pretty much under control.
Oh, what about music?
Ella's already taken care of that. Relax. It's gonna be a great party.
Okay, let's listen to it a second time. Remember, put a check mark if it's a yes, put an X if it's a no.
Unit 9, page 127. Exercise 5. Listening.
I'm getting nervous. The party's next week, and we still haven't found a place for it.
Yes, we have. Don't worry. Jason said we can have it at his place.
But is Jason's place big enough? There are going to be more than 20 people. And we've already invited everyone.
He says it's no problem, and he's already borrowed extra chairs from his parents.
That's great. Now, what are we going to do about food?
Well, I haven't figured that one out yet. I might just have things like chips and salsa. I'm not sure.
What about drinks? Has anyone bought the soda yet?
Not yet, but we've got time for that.
Okay. I can do that on Friday. Have we found someone to help us set up?
Yes, Ella's available. She's coming to Jason's Friday night to help us set up.
Great. You sound pretty organized.
Yeah, I think things are pretty much under control.
Oh, what about music?
Ella's already taken care of that. Relax. It's gonna be a great party.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So we heard the conversation of the things that are already taken care of and the things that are not done yet. Okay. So, Mr. Albert, can you tell me if they have a place?
Still. No.
They still don't have a place?
Ah, sí, es lo que escuché.
Let's see.
Getting nervous. The party's next week, and we still haven't found a place for it.
Yes, we have. Don't worry. Jason said we can have it at his place.
So is that a check mark or an X?
X.
It's a check mark, right?
Okay.
So in this case, basically she says we she says yes, we have, right? Basically what she means is we have already found a place. Why? Because Jason said we could have it at his place. So when she says, yes, we have, that means that they have already found a place. Okay? That's what that means. So that's going to be a check mark. That's going to be a yes. Find a place? Yes. Okay? What about Mr. Gael? Invite people. Yes or no?
Yes, they have the list already.
Say invite people.
But is Jason's place big enough? There are going to be more than 20 people. and we've already invited everyone.
Correct. It is affirmative. He says there's going to be more than 20 people. And then he says, we've already invited everyone. So that means it's affirmative. Yes. Very good. Very good. Good job, Mr. Gael. Let's see. Give me a moment. All right. What about Mr. Albert borrow extra chairs?
Yes, check.
Yes, we
They
have.
borrowed
Don't
extra
worry.
chairs.
Correct.
Jason said we can have it at his place.
But is Jason's place big enough? There are going to be more than 20 people, and we've already invited everyone.
He says it's no problem, and he's already borrowed extra chairs from his parents.
Right there. He's already borrowed extra chairs. So we're going to put a check mark here because he has already borrowed extra chairs from his parents. I'm gonna type it right here so you can see it. He's already borrowed extra chairs from his parents. Okay, that is exactly what she said. So because he's already borrowed, so we're gonna put a check mark. That's a yes for the borrow extra chairs. It's already been completed. All right, that's already been completed. What about the food, Mr. Gael? Listen to this.
That's great. Now, what are we going to do about food?
Well, I haven't figured that one out yet.
¿Qué significa figure out?
Figure out es resolver.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Food.
Well, I haven't figured that one out yet.
Correct.
Dice, I haven't figured out yet.
Ajá, significa, no he resolvido eso todavía, lo de la comida. I haven't figured that one out yet. Okay. Es como decir ese problema. Cuando dice that one, es como decir, se está refiriendo al problema. Eso todavía no, es como decir eso. No, eso todavía no lo resuelvo, ¿verdad? O eso todavía no lo resuelvo todavía, el yet va al último. Eso no lo resuelvo todavía. Figure that one out yet es lo que significa. Eso todavía no lo resuelvo todavía. Hablando del tema de la comida. So I haven't figured that one out yet. And that's going to be negative. So we're going to put an X right here. That's going to be a negative. Very good. Any questions, anybody? All right. What about Mr. Albert? What about buying sodas?
They haven't bought soda yet.
I might just have things like chips and salsa. I'm not sure.
What about drinks? Has anyone bought the soda yet?
Not yet, but we've got time for that.
Correct. It is negative, like Mr. Albert said. We're going to make it negative. She says not yet, but we have time for that. Now, remember, when you have time, you have the option of using still or yet, and yet is normal. So she says not yet, but we have time, so no problem. Okay, but it's negative, but no problem. So you say not yet. Okay. let's see. What about the topic of finding someone to help set up Mr. Gael?
Okay. I can do that on Friday. Have we found someone to help us set up?
Yes, Ella's available.
Yes, they already find someone to help set up.
Excellent, excellent. Full sentence. They've already found someone to help set up. Ella is available. So they've already found someone to help set up. Excellent, good job. Mr. Albert, what about the topic of selecting music?
She's coming to Jason's Friday night to help us set up.
Great. You sound pretty organized.
Yeah, I think things are pretty much under control.
Oh, what about music?
Ella's already taken care of that. Relax. It's gonna be a great party.
Check.
Check mark. That is correct. Ella has, basically, these are the words that she used. Ella has already taken care of that. Okay, Ella has already taken care of that. If you notice, just like we learned, is using has already taken. Okay, remember, you always need to have the auxiliary, okay, and the verb participle. Very important. And then, of course, you can put the already in the middle, or you can put the already at the end. You can say Ella has taken care of that already, or you can say Ella has already taken care of that. Is one or the other. Okay. So excellent, excellent. I mean, you did really good now. Now I can see that that you understand the topic a lot better than you did at the beginning of the class. A lot. You did a lot of improvement. We have already done a little bit of reading. We discovered the grammar, okay, and we related topics, identifying the grammar and the use of the present perfect. We did questions, and we did statements. We did short answers. We in a conversation already, and I think you got a lot of practice there. And then today we did a dynamic exercise where you're identifying affirmative and negative statements in the present perfect with already and still and yet. You had a lot of writing practice, conversational practice, and now you had some listening practice. So you should understand the topic a lot better now. I'm going to give you one more homework, but in the form of a listening comprehension practice, okay? So today we only have a 1 hour for class, so we don't have time to complete this section, but I'm going to send you on your group chat, I'm going to send you the audio MP3 so that you can listen to the audio, and I need you to explain. You're going to listen to the audio again. Okay, it says right here, listen again to the conversation, and you know you're going to have it on your WhatsApp, okay, on the group chat for the entire group. You're going to listen to the audio as many times as you need, and then you're going to tell me who is nervous about the party. In this case, the man. And then later you're going to tell me, okay, who has already invited everyone, okay? And then you can put maybe Jason, okay? Or if he says we have already, maybe he says we have already invited everyone. If it's we, that means the man and the woman have invited everyone. You got to pay attention to the subject. Okay? If he says, oh, we have already invited everyone, we, who is we? We is the man and the woman. So you can put a check mark on the man and the woman. Okay? You can put all the correct answers. If it's 3 or 4, if you need to check all of them, check all of them. If you check one, you can check one. Okay, so what I want you to do is analyze the audio one more time. Tell me who has already agreed to have the party at his place, right? Who has already borrowed extra chairs? Who asks about food and drinks? Who hasn't decided on the food yet? Who offers to pick up soda? Who is available to help set up? Who sounds pretty organized? And who has already taken care of the music? This is your homework. I'll send you the audio. Make sure you complete the answers, and we will discuss them at the beginning of the next class, after which we will continue with a brand new topic. We have a few photos that we're going to be describing in conversation for practice. We're going to be identifying those photos with the present perfect with already, the present perfect with still, and the present perfect with yet in the correct word order. When we finish that, then we'll move on to the new topic. Okay, the new topic is going to be the present perfect also, but we're going to be using, we're going to be discussing the indefinite past, and we're going to be talking about a different topic, adventure travel. Does anyone have any questions before we finish today's class? Any questions, anybody? No questions? Okay, I will send you the homework via WhatsApp as soon as the class finishes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next class. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Great weekend.
Bye, teacher.
Teacher.
Bye-bye. Thank you.